everybody. It's Kelly Russell, the Rock Your Joy Coach. Welcome to my channel, and thanks so much for being here. So, my topic for this week is rocking your inner GPS, listening to the guidance of Spirit. So, A Course in Miracles talks about guidance and the importance of listening to Holy Spirit's voice in various parts of the book, and espouses all the reasons why we should be doing that, which I can totally vouch for myself, because I know that when I do listen for guidance, when I ask for guidance, when I slow myself down, I get quiet. Often this is during my morning practice, but sometimes it's when I'm in the middle of the day and I don't know what to do about something, or I think I do know what to do, which actually probably happens more often, is I think I know what the right thing is, the right action to take, and I'm charging forward, to do that, and I get a little message in my mind, it'll just be like a little thought, or do this instead of doing that. How about if you do this? How about if you go there? How about if you, and it could be just something, just to make my life easier, really. How about if you do that errand before you do this errand? Or it could be something, that's it's kind of like a life changing decision. You know, you need to leave that job and open your own practice or something like that. And I know that when I do heed that voice and that instruction, it always works out. Even if it feels like it isn't working out, or it kind of looks like it's not going to, it ends up working out. And when I don't listen to it, it's usually not that long after I decide to ignore whatever the guidance is that I go, oh, here's why. And it could be like, oh, here's a gigantic traffic jam that I could have avoided getting into. Or it could be something bigger. There's no order of difficulty in miracles, right? So there's no order of difficulty in the way in which whatever we think our problems are can be solved and worked out, and in the most elegant ways, by following the guidance of Spirit. And an added benefit of following Spirit's guidance that I was reading about today in the Manual for Teachers, in the very last part of the Manual for Teachers, part 29, in paragraph 3, it says, there is another advantage, and a very important one, in referring decisions to Holy Spirit with increasing frequency. Perhaps you have not thought of this aspect, but its centrality is obvious. To follow the Holy Spirit's guidance is to let yourself be absolved of guilt. Yes, please. It is the essence of the atonement. It is the core of the curriculum. The imagined usurping of functions not your own is the basis of fear, and the whole world you see reflects the illusion that you have done so, making fear inevitable. To return the function to the one to whom it belongs is thus the escape from fear. And it is this that lets the memory of love return to you. Do not then think that following the Holy Spirit's guidance is necessary merely because of your own inadequacies. It is the way out of hell for you. So I'm in addition to making my life in this crazy dream easier by following the guidance, it's following the guidance that is going to wake us up and get us home, and to the home that we really never left, but it's completely out of our awareness. And that is that heaven that is our complete enlightenment, our remembering the truth of who we are, and the absolving of all guilt is the process of that, because that's what keeps us stuck here, is our believing in this unconscious guilt that we think we deserve to feel because we believe we separated from God, which never happened. But as long as we believe it, it becomes our truth, even if it's wrong. And so I love to think of our inner guidance, that inner voice, our inner teacher, is like a GPS system. And believe me, the actual, like the worldly GPS system was invented specifically for me. I feel very strongly about that. I used to get lost all the time. And I think I have some kind of a learning disability where I can't really read maps. They just, I could they could be upside down. I don't know, north, south, east, west. I never got any of it. I mean, I get it as a concept, but not really the application. So I have, I've done crazy things like driven almost all the way back to Miami from Key West because I just turned the wrong direction and didn't figure out that like the Keys were south of Miami. Um, I'm especially fond of the GPS in the car. And really, the guidance of spirit is exactly like that. Like, you can think that you know where you're going. You can think that you're on the right route, the right path, the right road, or whatever. And then all of a sudden there's a big detour, right? But the GPS will be like, that's okay. You take the detour and the GPS just recalculates and it picks you up, and just tells you the next place to go, the next turn, the next, exit or whatever it is. And spirit is the same way. In this way we can't really ever make mistakes that are irreparable, or as the ego mind would like us to think, that living in fear that we're going to make a mistake and that it is going to be irreparable and that we're going to be sorry for the rest of our lives, instead of, no, you can make a wrong turn, you can get off the road, you might have to make a U-turn, you might have to get off at the next exit, you might encounter a detour. It's all fine as long as you're following the guidance. You're going to get back on the road, and you might have learned some things or seen some cool sights along the way. Or maybe you encountered someone, maybe you had a little holy instant with somebody, you met somebody that was you were destined to meet, and maybe you taught each other something or you helped each other in some way. Like, how do we know? We don't even really know what the right route is, and where how we're supposed to get where we're going. And so I love that analogy. And I have the car that I drive has these, I call it my Jedi ride, because it's got these some crazy features on it that it sort of seems to me like sometimes it's like it's got its own driver, kind of like the Google car or whatever. Like it won't let me hit something. It slams on the brakes for me. It turns my lights on to bright when they need to be, when it's dark enough. The wipers come on when it's raining. It talks to me. I mean, I don't know. It just is, it seems very sort of, it's not only got a GPS, but it's got all this guidance built into it, so that I can, if I go to change lanes and there's somebody there, it won't let me. It literally like pulls the wheel back over so that I can't sideswipe somebody. And it's not like I'm driving around trying to do all that stuff, but it's just got amazing protective qualities. And I like to think of spirit as like that with this guidance system also, is that there will be these very strong intuitive messages that we get that we are, we're not going in the right direction, or that is not the right decision for us. And so there will be different kinds of, I like to think of them as these protective mechanisms that get enacted and keep us from making decisions, or try to keep us from making decisions that we would then just, it would wind up as a forgiveness opportunity. And believe me, I've made so many of those. And the more that I learn to listen to that voice of spirit, the more that like there'll be just a little thought that pops into my mind of, you should do this. I go, oh, okay. Instead of, living my life too fast and too loud and too distracted, which I also did for many years, where I just couldn't even hear the guidance. Or I would hear it and I would ignore it, thinking that I knew better, and that I don't know what that thought is, but I don't need to listen to that. And it's been from years of cultivating the practice of listening to spirit's voice and following that guidance, and having it be this protective, loving guidance, this protective, loving voice, this presence that is just like, I got you. I got your back. Just follow me, listen to me. I'm always going to lead you in the right decision. I'm never going to do anything that is going to harm you or put you in fear. Right? And so then that added benefit of listening to the guidance, as I just read from the manual for teachers, is the added benefit is absolving us from that guilt that instills fear in the first place. And so not only are we going to get where we want to go, we're going to get there faster in the most efficient way. Spirit is going to guide us in a manner that is for the highest good of all concern, meaning that all of our mighty companions that we will meet along that way, and that we're supposed to have interactions with, that we will meet, as the Course in Miracles says that straight up, that you will meet who you're supposed to meet, and that we will have these relationships that we are supposed to have for however long we're supposed to have them. So we're not in charge of any of that. And it's really, if we can get our ego out of the way and embrace not being in charge of any of that, understanding that things are going to work out way better than we could have ever planned them, that instead of us painstakingly trying to figure out the best route to take and the best roads and the best highways and where the construction is and where the bridges are out and where there might be traffic and all that, we can just give it all up and be like, no, I'm gonna follow your commands, and I'm gonna get there, and it's gonna be a much smoother and a way more fun trip. So that is my message for you today. And if you want to have a tool that can help you to kind of hone that guidance system, that inner GPS that you have, you can click the link below this video, and there's a meditation, daily practice for guidance. That's literally the name of it. You can download, it's free. And it's a mini version of the practice that I use, but it will put you in that mindset. It allows you space to release whatever it is that is blocking your guidance in terms of the obstacles that we keep in our minds, the things that we think about and worry about, and problems we're trying to solve and doing it all ourselves, and then brings you into a space where you're communing with spirit and literally just staying in that lovely place of just receiving and listening and letting that guidance download into your mind, and you'll be more peaceful. Life will be easier. It'll be more fun. It'll just be happier. You'll be able to rock your joy. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I'm here every week talking about the practical application of A Course in Miracles. And if you want to deeper dive into being able to work with spirit and listen for that guidance and live your life in that way, and you want to work with me directly, there's another link below. Click on the button for booking in a discovery call with me, which is again a free call. It's a free coaching call to determine whether my one-to-one coaching would be something that could benefit you. So thanks again for being here. I love you.